The presidential team, led by the chairman of the committee and chief judge of the Federal Capital Territory, Justice Ichak Bello, refused to grant the pardon after reviewing their warrant and considering the dangers that drug pose to society, especially to young people. Justice Bello said the reversal of the pardon will help deter members of the public who may want to venture into trafficking drugs and hope to receive state pardon when sentenced. Those affected are Mr. Ugochukwu Okafor, sentenced to 2 years imprisonment for possessing 225 grams of cannabis sativa, one Chimezi Okafor, sentenced for possessing large quantities of methamphetamine, popularly called Murummili, and cocaine, and 18-year-old Paul Odo, who was sentenced to serve a 4-year term for possessing 320 grams of cannabis sativa. However, one Mr. Izuchukwu Obuanam, a 20-year-old boy from Enugu State who sold marijuana and has almost outserved his 2-year term, was pardoned. Also, it was a moment of untold joy for 19-year-old Kosuchukwu Keke, who was sentenced to 3 years imprisonment for stealing 120,000 naira to pay his school fees. Some Tochukwu had his sentencing cancelled for him to go back to school, write his senior secondary school certificate examination, and have his school fees paid by a non-governmental organization through the Attorney General of the state. Meanwhile, the committee chairman Justice Bello further explained that prisoners with mental conditions called psychosis or other forms of mental ill health who do not have members of their families who will claim them will not also be pardoned, to avoid releasing them into the streets where they may become vulnerable to crime or pose dangers to members of the society.
We are able to release all in all 7 persons here who merited enjoying such respite, going by our terms of reference.
Also, the committee had some persons awaiting trial for between 3 and 8 years because they lack lawyers that will defend their cases, assigned defense lawyers through the state judiciary, Ministry of Justice, or through the non-governmental organization Legal Aid Initiative. The Presidential Committee on Prisons Reforms and Decongestion, who were accompanied to the assignment by the Chief Judge of Anambra State, Justice Ijem Onwamwebu, and the Attorney General of the State, Dr. Mrs. Ujunwogo, had pardoned 4,000 prisoners across the Federation, with Anambra State being the 14th state they will be visiting. Their mandate is to pardon prisoners who were sentenced to prison with an option of fine, age challenges, illness that is assessed to be beyond the capacity of the Welfare Department of the Nigerian Prison Service, facilitate the release of those who have stayed beyond the number of years of their prison sentence, and the assignment of lawyers to those who are awaiting trial but could not afford the services of a defense lawyer. In Oka, I am David Opokwasele for ABS News.